think that we can help people all across the world. So we're going to get this recorded right now. And I want to thank everybody that is joining us right now. This is Wednesday evening in the US. And for those joining us in the Philippines, it's Thursday morning. And welcome to each and every one of you. Think Like a Pro was created almost a little over 2 years ago. And that was where a bunch of 4 Crossline elites came together, and we wanted to bring some information to our teams from other directions. Even though it's kind of the same thing, it's great that we can have this together. And it's about training and tips and leaders from different teams. And we're now more than 4 elites. Our Crossline team includes Pro 9, Greg Deeker, Pro 8, Vandy Flake, Pro 8, Vandy Kai Hayes, Pro 8, Sunday Belanger, and Joe, I don't know how to do this right, Elderaze, and myself. So we're excited that we can bring some information to you from all different parts and bring it together for you. Let's have some special prayers for Greg Deeker and for Sunny Belanger. They're still recovering surgeries and going through some illnesses that they're trying to recover from. And we all work together as a team to help bring insight on how we can bring help to you and your team. It's all about being able to help somebody understand what the next step is for you and your team. All of us have been through this. We've been through the heartaches, the disappointments, oh, I thought so, oh, this person said so. And we just know that's part of the business. And so tonight, I'm super excited to bring a fellow horseman into this arena. And she has been in LifeVantage for almost 5 years. She grew up in Miami thinking that hustle and bustle was the place to be. And it was awesome for that time in her life. But then her and her husband, Sonny, retired to a horse country up in Ocala, Florida, 25 years ago. And they're now thrilled with the country life with horses and dogs and cats and on a beautiful, hugely beautiful, peaceful farm. And she has never been without dogs and has horses since she was a teenager. And I really connect with her because I had my first pony at 5, and I've had some 4-legged creature until last year when I lost my really old guy that was just part of my life. But this is a true horseman, animal lover, and her LifeVantage story started with activating first her dog. And I know that happens a lot of time with us. You know, we want the best for our animals before we do it for us. So I would like to bring on one of my favorite people. Her passion is getting this information out to others for their 4-legged fur babies, as well as we finally figured out it works on people. So Caralee, thank you so much for coming on. And I appreciate your time this evening, what you're going to bring to us. She is a Pro 4, and she's joining us tonight just to be able to give her information on what her journey is. And I'd like to have her start by telling us, how did you find out about NRF2 activation? And take it away, Caralee.
Thank you. First of all, I'm really honored that you asked me to tell my few stories, my stories I've personally experienced, which just jump in your heart. You can't help it when you can help people and their animals. So my first one was so simple. It started out because, of course, over an animal. I got a puppy Labrador, and we're on the way with my friend Lillian to the vet. And then I learned about NRF2 activation. And of course, Letitia, could you mute? Thank you. And then I learned about activation. And of course, I tell Lillian what's going on with my dog. And I had tried everything to get my dog comfortable. She just couldn't be. She was uncomfortable. She was failing. She's 12 years old. And she wasn't as happy as she used to be. And that dog meant the world to me. Lillian simply said, give her this. Put her on Pet Tandem. Okay. Simple. I trusted Lillian. I put her on. Oh my gosh. The change I saw in that dog, she came back to life. We used to race to the barn on my cart She was on the grass racing, and I'd be in my cart racing behind her, and she couldn't do it anymore. Oh my gosh. Not only was she like racing again, she was bounding and happy and showing me what life was all about again. All right. Does NRF2 activation work? Oh my gosh. It just showed me, she showed me the truth. And then Lillian invited me over with a friend to see the ABC report, that primetime report. And I'm old enough to know what that's about. They're not out there to prove a company is doing the right thing. They're out there to prove they're not, and they couldn't do that. And when I saw that, I went, while I was watching that, I knew I had to help people. I knew I had family members and friends. I had to tell about this product. And that's as simple as it was. That's how I got started. And I jumped in.
Wow. So many of us did. We saw that ABC video. We knew what that was about, as far as our age group. We knew this was something that they were trying to disprove and they couldn't. And that was why I jumped all in. And today, that's not necessarily the case, but we have some amazing science that we can back it up with people. So yeah, you got in for the same reason I did. I was a huge skeptic. And when I looked at this, my question, unfortunately, to this stranger that showed this to me, Justin Brown, love him to death now, as a family member to me, was, so how much did they pay to have that ABC done? I mean, that was the first thing out of my mouth. I just could not believe that this was real. So, yeah, poor Justin, he put up with me for a long time, just hammering him about how is this real, until I just, actually the next day I took off an entire day of a 14-hour day and just looked at the science and tried to figure out, wow, this is real. I just didn't know about it, and 10 years ago when I got involved, the company was only 3 years old. And so many of us, we have all these questions and there are answers out there. We just have to do our homework and figure out, guess what? This is new. And it's in the very beginning of something. So I'm so excited that I did my homework instead of just, blowing it off because it came from a stranger. I didn't really want to trust it. But if people look at the science, it's there for us. So excited for you. And I was excited for myself. So what in the heck made you think about putting it on your dog? Because what I did first thing was put it on my horse.
Of course. My horse followed pretty closely behind. It was just, what, I didn't know what I was giving my dog. I thought it was a dog tablet. I didn't know that it was for people until I saw that ABC report. And then the support I immediately got when I joined this company. Immediately, the next day, Lillian took me by the hand and we went out and started to make phone calls and reach out to people to help me with the people I was calling. I mean, that blew my mind because the coordination of the people you could reach out to, it was right there, and the willingness for everybody to help. If I had a doubt, I didn't have a doubt, because the very next day, the first person I called with the help and the third parties, I learned about third parties real fast. The third party was there, and boom, I got started. It was, you know what? It's just the way it works. It's not even unusual. That's just the way we do it. We teach by example. And that was my example. It's like, let's just go do it. Okay, let's have fun and go do it. So that got me started with a person. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Lillian's a tremendous leader, and she just takes her people by the hand and teaches them how to make this happen. And that's what's exciting about this. Was I had been in business for myself the last 40 years. We were custom saddle makers. I was an equine physical therapist, and you were the one that did everything, and you were fighting all of your competition all the time. There was not anybody there to say, hey, let me help you be more successful. Let me show you what I'm doing. What they were trying to do was take what I had. And that was something I had a little bit of a trouble with when I got into this business after decades of, having the got to take care of myself thing. And that was really fantastic that we have people that hold your hand, help you get to whatever you want to, whatever level you want, whatever system you want. And that's what's very, very exciting, is that no one does this by themselves. I tried to do it by myself for the first 10 months. Didn't work. Had a lot of customers because I was so excited. I couldn't shut up. All I could do was talk about glutathione and superoxide dismutase and then. I didn't understand how to make this simple and just say, understand their pain, and then take them to a video or some piece of information other than my mouth that they could listen to, and then take them to another person other than me, because I did know it all. I was so excited about it, but I couldn't quit talking about it. And 10 months later, I had a bunch of customers, but I didn't have people that could do what I was doing. And they didn't want to learn how to do what I was doing. They wanted it simple. And 10 months later, I understood how to just make this simple, take them to something other than me. And that means anybody that comes in this business can do it, because they are just going to follow somebody else. And that was what was the amazing part to me. 10 months later, I became a Pro 7 after 10 months of doing it the wrong way. So there's a system that truly works if we decide to plug into it. And that was what was amazing to me, is we have everything in this company already set up for us. All we've got to do is learn how to plug in and let somebody else do the work. So I was ecstatic, and I am so grateful that you're here. And everybody always wonders, how do people make the decision to make this happen? Jump in. How am I going to do it? How, what did you in your brain go on when you said, I want to make the decision to join this team? What did you do?
It truly, because I so believed in the science that I saw, and I've always been super interested in health, natural health. So it was just, I wanted to get that out. I wanted to get the ability to have healthy health, healthy health, truly healthy health. And the more I understood it, the more I wanted it. And then it worked out that I kind of found a niche in the animals. And my most recent, and really, I'm so thrilled to have been able to reach out to this woman. I just met her on Facebook. We're Facebook friends from horses. I don't know who she is really, but her dog was suffering terribly, terribly. It was so sad to see her. She would post videos, and they were waiting to put the dog down. It had been three vets. Three vets says, no, we can't help you anymore. We've done what we can. It's hopeless now. And she prayed for a miracle. And I'm like, please, please let me come in. And finally she did. And a miracle on top of a miracle is she's far away, but I had friends that were going right to where she was immediately. And they took her dog, the Protandim, to use. And she got it in the dog. Now she's keeping the dog alive just by IV, like hydration. That's keeping the dog alive. That's it. So she got the pills in this dog, and within a short period of time, considering he was knocking on death's door at 3 different vets, he was back out playing with the horses.
It just takes one story to build our beliefs sometimes. I know my one story was my old horse that I'd had, and he had some health issues, and I had decided that I was probably going to have to put him down the next couple of months because I didn't want him to suffer through another summer. And the first bottle went to that old boy, and I got to keep him for 9 more years, and he was 30 years old when I finally did lose him. So it was, we have some amazing stories that we can share with people, and whether it's their horses or their dogs or people. And so I'm so grateful that the person that showed this to me was a complete stranger. And I was so so you got to be kidding me that I thought ABC Primetime was got paid for, and I did my homework because I was like, wow, what if this was real? And I was fixing to miss something that was going to change lives. And that's what we have to, I believe, as leaders have to put across to other people is go do your homework. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe the testimonies. You don't have to believe the stories. You don't have to believe the Facebooks. Go do your homework on pubmed.gov or dollar.google. Not Google. Who knows what in the heck you're going to get there. So just put in oxidative stress or equine oxidative stress or canine oxidative stress. There are literally thousands of studies out there, and we can do our own homework and figure out that this really is real. And if I didn't know how to do that, I would have missed this. I would have missed having thousands of people feel better and their animals. And only because I was ignorant on what network marketing was. Number one, that was a giant red flag going, are you kidding me? This can't be real, especially in this, even though we now know that it is really real. And the
Very
amount of people that make an income from it is like number one, more than professional sports. So I had to do my homework as a, what was network marketing? How did they pay? Did they pay? And we're so grateful that what we have is a company that is publicly traded, and we can go do our homework and take a look and see who's the CEO and what do they make, and the right now, I mean, they are completely free of debt. That's incredible for a company today.
totally incredible.
So I just ask people to go out there and do your homework and figure out what is it you want. I know that right now, more than ever in our life, we have more people looking to work from home, work from your phone, whatever, but they don't want to go into work and spend 40 or 50 or 60 hours a week anymore.
Well,
and we have
and,
an answer for them.
and when you're on a team, it's a team. Our teams are teams. We're friends. I just met up with, in fact, I'm looking at two faces that I had never actually touched before. Florence and Sue, we met up well, Florence and I met up in Salt Lake, where I traveled so much. And then Sue and I mean, hugged, real honest to goodness hugs. And it was like we'd known each other forever because we're a team, because we're like-minded, we're like-hearted. We have the same morals, I would say, even I'd go that far, because what we want is what we can do for people. And, to help people be better, or to help people make more money, or to help people quit their job, or whatever they need, or help their child, or whatever it is they need. And it's really in the heart. This is the most heartfelt business I've ever been involved in. And I cry all the time because when people reach out to you, I had a friend reach out to me, and I had been knocking on her door and showing her the information and gently talking to her. And one day she called me and she says, Caralee, I want my life back. I want you to come and talk to me. I want to know more about what you're doing. You can't say that to me and I'm not going to cry. I mean, can you imagine somebody saying that? And it's been a little over a year, and she's had a lot of health issues. And she follows, she gets the pills and she puts them in her mouth and she swallows them every day. She does what needs to be done to help her cells be healthy. And she's had, like I said, a long, tough medical issue. And for 21 years, I think it was 21 years ago, she started having a horrible time with different cancers. And she had 2 resections, and she's had a colonoscopy every year where they had to go in and remove precancerous or cancerous polyps every year for 21 years. She's been on our products for a little over a year. Her last colonoscopy is clean. That's the only changes. I don't know. She's clean, and her next colonoscopy is not for 3 more years. I mean, and that's just, you know what? There's so many other improvements she's made, but those kind of things, why would you not do this business to be able to help people? There's so much that she has. There's so much more she wants, and she's not stopping. She's doing every single thing she can do. She's wonderful. That's one of my big human stories.
Yeah, that's a huge one. And if we stay in this business long enough, we hear these stories, and that's why we continue to stay. And that's why we continue to share information, because we do know we can change lives with our products. And we've had some pretty amazing stories changing lives with their financial situation, people that were losing their house, and now they got the house of their dreams. It doesn't matter what it is. LifeVantage pretty much has an answer for it if you'd like to plug in and figure it out and act like it's a business. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that happens is people think they're going to sign up and all of a sudden everything's going to happen for them, but it's a business. You've got to go to work.
It takes time. It took me a little while to actually go, I need to treat this as a business. It's not that I still reached out to people before, but now I have a dedicated time and a method. And I follow my method, and I follow my mentors, and I follow advice. Oh, and I follow directions. Because why should I try and figure everything out on my own? It's all done. It's all been proven, and it's so very successful, and it's so doggone very fulfilling. So I'm in the right place, and thank you, Lillian, for your beautiful little black puppy, and got me started. I have a course. I've been lucky enough to have friends reach out to me for their horses too. So in fact, my horse, he was racing and having a wonderful time racing through the field, and he must have landed on a root. I could never find what he landed, but it was instant horrific pain. You know what it's like. It's like, anyway. So I went to him, and he actually had blood seeping through the bottom of his foot, and he had exploded the inside of his foot. I did everything the vet said. You know how it goes. I soaked, I medicated, I time off, I did everything. I could never, ever get him sound. And he was not sound. He was very painful until I gave him our little yellow pill. Oh my gosh. He needs 2 a day. Okay, I'll go with 2 a day. I don't ride him. I don't need to ride him. He's 26. He can be pasture sound, and he's pasture sound. And I could not find a way to get him sound before I gave him that pill. And that's all I have to do. He's not on anything else. That 1 pill twice a day has to be 2 a day. That's fine. So that's even my own personal story. I just love to be able to use our products for our animals. And it's way less expensive than what you get from the vets. And I use my facial cleanser. I have a horse that's kind of got cruddy skin, and he has a fly mask all the time. In this heat, it just gets worse. I just scrub him down with that facial cleanser. I mean, it works. So my advice to anybody is take your stuff out of your bathroom cabinet and take it to the barn, or use it on your dog, because it works across the board. I find that over
Absolutely.
and over. Mm-hmm.
I found the same thing. I used at first, because 10 years ago, we only had 2 products, one being the True Science #4. And I found out that I don't have to use that product. I can use a hand cream because it has the same NRF2 activation, just not without taking away the wrinkles. Well, guess what? When I'm putting it inside a dog's ear that has a lot of bacterial infection, we really don't care about what the wrinkles look like. So I have had some great results using that product in dogs' ears, horses' pasterns. Horses end up with a lot of bacterial infections around their pasterns, and usually it's because they got leg wrapped a little early, and so there was a little dampness there. But that has been an incredible product. I use all of my products that are on me, they're on the dogs, because when I started, there was only 2 products, and every single one of them got tried on the dogs. So I'm excited that we have products that truly work, and we've got horsemen that think out of the box, and we try different things on them.
You know what else I discovered by chance, because I was doing some research? I have a friend that has a horse that has that horrible chewing issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually found some research that backed the fact that oxidative stress kind of it shows up in a horse that does that. And if you can reduce it, it seems to have helped many horses. So I put it out there. She is thrilled because not only did it help that, this horse was one of those horses that would bolt into gear, he'd like, wow, bam, off into the trot or the canter or whatever. Couldn't focus, was everywhere, couldn't stand for the vet.
Kind of explosive.
Probably every week or 10 days, I get, oh my gosh, Ben knows how to listen to me now. Oh my gosh, the farrier loves Ben now. Oh my gosh, I think you found his missing puzzle piece. I'm like, those things are so cool.
That is great. Yeah, I just talked to someone yesterday that had a horse with the same problem, and I told him about going to scholar.google and putting in the disease plus oxidative stress. And so, yeah, I'm going to give her a call back now. So thank you so much for that information.
Absolutely. And my sister has a horse that's just, she always, those kind of horses that kind of, they lope in a ball because they've got so much, they just can't breathe and settle. We worked with her for years. And Claudia, would you just try this, please? It doesn't always work for the sister to tell her, but the vet helped in this case. Her dog vet helped. And she put her on it. And I'm telling you, you could see her go from the ball to a nice, comfortable gait. So it helps in so many ways. So many, who would even expect that? But there's a lot of help. And my sister's dog had a cancerous lesion in its gum. And he was an older poodle. And the vet says, start him on Protandim now. In 3 months, we'll remove it. And they removed it. Oh, no, wait a minute. It was in his gum, but then he had to have part of his lung removed. Sorry, I'm a little sketchy on this. Had part of his lung removed. And he'd been on the product for 3 months. The very next morning, the vets at UF said, come and take your dog. He's a miracle dog. It's time for him to go home. They didn't know what he was on. He went on for years. He went on for years.
Well, we're just about at the bottom of the half hour here. I would like to hear your number one human story, because I know you have a lot of them, but if you could pass on your number one story for peeps.
Okay, you know what? I'll go with mine because my husband counts really big, but I'll go with mine. Years and years ago, I was in a plane crash, and when I broke my leg very badly. And all those many years ago, it wasn't set straight. So as a result, my ankle and my knee just, they ended up bone on bone, and it was terribly painful. And fortunately, I started on what was available. The product was NRF1 and 2, and it helped, but it didn't really solve my problem, or it still left me having to be very, very careful and frequently in a lot of pain. And just before the NAD came out, I was actually in the chair and on crutches because it just had gotten that bad. And so I started with the NAD and stacked everything. I take everything. And it continually got to feeling better. And I didn't have to worry about putting my boots on anymore. Everything hurt. Everything hurt. It hurt walking through my pasture. And then things got better and better. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to go for a walk in Gothi. It's flat. Gothi's nice. It's a little muddy. It's a little rooty, but it's flat. It was so successful. Okay, so that's not enough. Then the girls, we all get together and we go to Moab. Moab's really different from Gothi. It's mountains and it's Rocky Mountains, and it's kind of steep and it's a little bit, up and down. But you know what? I can do it. And you know what? My ankle never hurt me. I had to be a little careful. I had to restrict myself from doing some things. But I promise you, when I stacked all our products together, it gave me the ability to not require an ankle. And the surgeons want to give me an ankle. And I'm not having it. I can walk. Are you kidding me? I can walk around Gothi. I mean, I can walk around Moab in those mountains, see the arches and walk around huge rocks and mountains. It was phenomenal. And I'm so happy that I could do that. And
Awesome story.
I bless our products. It's our products inside me every single day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Wow, that's a great story. So many of us have had just life-changing stories from an all-natural product that, of course, our doctors want to do all kind of surgeries and things from. Y'all probably heard some of my brain surgery stories of they wanted to put me on all these things. I'm like, why is that? We'll put you on this. I said, isn't that high blood pressure? Yeah, I don't have high blood pressure. Oh, no, it's a good idea. Not for me. Oh, we'll put you on this. I said, isn't that high cholesterol? Oh, yeah, but it's a good idea to put you on that. And I'm like, no. So it's just amazing the things that they will try and get you to do. Just like you could have had a surgery, you could have had more scar tissue, and you chose, a different route. And that's exactly who we're looking for, is people that want to do it a different way. We have a different way. Does it work every time? Guess what? I needed brain surgery. I had a brain aneurysm. There are times for a lot of different surgeries, but guess what? It's not every drug they want to throw in you. Ask questions, and that's what we have to do. So I'm so excited that you had an amazing experience yourself, and you can pass this on to other people, that there are other ways.
And we need to realize that it takes time for ourselves to get healthy. Our bodies want to be healthy. So just give it some time.
Absolutely. So myself, I've never had any network marketing experience, and neither has Caralee. And guess what? If you just plug into a system that's already set up and follow it, every one of you can be successful. It's all about a system and what you're willing to do to get what you want. And some people maybe want to have $300 or $400 a month extra, and that's great. I personally, I needed to replace a 6-figure income. I wasn't happy where I was at. And Caralee, she has other goals too. But whatever somebody's range is, there's a system out there for you to plug into and make this happen. And so I'm so excited that you are here to help us understand we can change lives, whether it's horses, dogs, or people. You know, a lot of us started with the horses and the animals, but she's an amazing leader. And one of the things she doesn't do is miss events. She was out at Salt Lake City this past weekend with 2 events we had. And that's what leaders do. You've got to go. This is part of that plug in, figure out what's going on. And so I'm always so proud when my team members show up to these events, because I know it's an expense. I also know it's part of the time out of your life. But if you want to make this work for you, you have to go learn how to make it work. And that's what we do when we go to events. So I'd like for everybody to throw in the chat who's already signed up for Phoenix, Arizona, because I know I am, and it's going to be a great event. It's a global event, and we're going to get to connect with some of our Crossline people that are all over the world. 21 countries we're in now, and we're going to get to connect. And who has already got their hotels signed up? I know I have, because when you commit and you have your ticket and you have your hotel, that means you're going. So I am very, very excited. That's going to be October 20th through the 22nd. So throw in the chat if you're going to be there. And I'm so excited that we're all going to get together again in just a few short months, because it was awesome to be with these people just last week. Get yourself registered if you're not.
It was fun to have
Absolutely.
friends. It's great.
Yep. Give them a hug, and we're going to see them again really soon. And I want to thank so much for our special guest, Caralee Gould, Pro 4, that has made this happen for her and so many other people. And I appreciate everyone's time this evening. And you guys have a great one. And that's a wrap.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.